Hey guys, I'm Angela and welcome back to Hobby Night. This week in Warhammer news, we're covering toys, miniatures, and board games. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this because we have some new previews for my friends over at JOYTOY, and I am very intrigued to see these two new action figures. We're looking at two today. So let's jump straight in with this first trailer and see what we're looking at. Whoa, he looks stunning! Oh my god! The detail work on Roboute, oh my god, I can't say his name. Roboute Guilliman. Ooh, the head looks fantastic. Ooh, okay, well, let's see if there's anything else. There's not. Oop. Are we looking at it again? Is this still Roboute Guilliman? It is. Okay, I want to go back to one. Just look at this model. Look at this model. That flame sword is pretty cool. I do wish they had done something with like these lines here to maybe make them look a little metallic, like they're heated or something. But you know what? That's a nitpick. I love everything about this model. The helmet looks super, super cool. However, I want to talk about the fact that he comes with an unhelmeted version. Where is that? I think it's in this spin around. Where are you, Guilliman? There's your beautiful blonde head. So I just recently opened up some JOYTOY action figures on the channel. If you want to check that out, it was a live stream and you can go watch it still on demand. So I'll make sure to link to that in the video description below. However, in that, we opened up some Custodes and some Sisters of Battle. The Sisters of Battle all came with unhelmeted heads as well as helmeted heads. And the unhelmeted are gorgeous. Like, I just thought they were so pretty. And then we got to the Custodians. And now, most of the Custodians didn't come with unhelmeted heads, but one of them did. And his face was beautiful. Like, most of the action figures that I've gotten from JOYTOY so far have either been aliens or had their faces covered because the Krieg's Guardsmen all had the faces covered. And basically everything else I've gotten has also had faces covered, or like I said, has been an alien like the orcs. So I hadn't really experienced much of their human faces. And I think this looks stunning. He looks like Guilliman, and I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to potentially see this model in person. But this isn't the only one we need to talk about, because no. They aren't just giving us our glorious Primarch. We are also looking at something for the Grey Knights, which I don't think any of the Grey Knights have come out yet, but they have a absolutely wild range that I'm also incredibly hyped for. So let's take a look at Grandmaster Voldus. This should also be amazing. The Grey Knights, in my experience, have been stunning. Look at that face, also excellent. The shoulder's cool. I love the print on all of the fabric pieces, and it looks like it's that softer material, like what you have on the Sisters of Battle and such, which just looks stunning. Let's go ahead and cancel that. Let's go back into this video and take a little bit more of a look at him, because he also looks great. I'm curious if he's gonna end up having a helmeted version where we're only seeing the unhelmeted version, but regardless, that hammer looks freaking rad. I love the bright blue pop of color there to make it look like an actual, power weapon and everything. Frankly stunning. I want to see, can I get a better picture of the book? Because the accessories that they do for JOYTOY are just beautiful, and they're also interchangeable. So you can mix and match things a lot of the times because they just kind of plug and fit, which is super cool. And I'm hyped for this. Let me know if you guys are going to be looking forward to the JOYTOY action figures in the future as well. I know I certainly am. I hope that I can continue to open some. Thank you to JOYTOY for sending me some to actually open. And as I mentioned, if you want to check that out, I've left a link in the video description. All right, I gushed about some action figures. Now it's time to gush about some miniatures, because we have another preview on Warhammer Community for the Dawnbreaker, which is the new Cities of Sigmar line. And I'm very curious to see what these models are going to be. Let's get this. Wait, is that an adolescent?
Come, youngster.
Like a squire?
Raise the relic high. Let the soldiers of the line see it and be inspired for the forthcoming battle.
Whoa! Oh my god, that is so handsome. I like them even more. I mean, really, they're all fantastic, but the detail levels on these miniatures, he's handsome too. Damn, that cloak. That subtle texture on there that they painted on it is not part of the model itself, but god damn. Holy moly, those miniatures look beautiful. Okay. I mean, we obviously have some more details of them here. This is actually really cool. So we've got some brand new miniatures for Age of Sigmar, for the Cities of Sigmar line. They look stunning. We got to see a small sprinkling of new City of Sigmar miniatures coming from Age of Sigmar over the last couple months, starting a lot with some Warhammer Fest stuff, because we got to see some really cool knights. And seeing these combined with those is making me especially optimistic for the return of the old world, because not only have we seen these absolutely fantastic models that we're looking at here, the knights previously, but we have actually seen some of the new old world figures, and they're right online with this. They have this level of detail, they are crisp and glorious and just look bloody fantastic. And I love the fact that we actually are getting squires. I feel like almost never do we actually get children or adolescents of any variety in specifically Warhammer games. Like, I feel like you never see them in 40k that I can think of, except for maybe if you count the cherubs with their old man faces that the Sisters of Battle get sometimes. But like, other than that, I don't really think there's kids, and I don't really remember too many models in the active and current Age of Sigmar line that also has like teenagers or anything. So the fact that Cities of Sigmar is introducing that is both very cool and honestly mildly horrifying, because if you think about the context of this world, maybe Age of Sigmar is a little bit better than what Warhammer Old World was, but like, it was not a nice place. And so the fact that these kids are, you know, out on the front lines with their generals or whatever and having who knows what kind of time, hopefully it's grand, is a little terrifying, because they are, you know, they're youth and everything. But these look stunning. Like, I know a lot of these details on like the cloak and all the cloth and everything is painted on. You can very clearly tell that, but it just looks so crisp, and it gives us as hobbyists a huge amount of opportunity to try our hand on doing whatever the heck we want. Now these, I can't tell if that pattern there on the shield is painted on or if that is actually an embossed texture. I think it's just painted. So again, you can kind of make it whatever you want. Maybe if you're into using decals, you can add those to it. Fantastic, absolutely loving what we're seeing from Age of Sigmar right now. Moving on to my absolutely delightful Stinky Boys and their preview, which we got on the Warhammer Community site recently. And I have to say, I am genuinely mixed about this preview. Let's talk about what I do like and some of the things that has me scared because I don't necessarily like what I'm seeing. One of the nice things is that when it comes to the Death Guard, we are one of the few factions that seems to be keeping one of our aura abilities, which is fantastic news because we actually had a very powerful and also very thematic aura ability, which was Nurgle's Gift. Every round, the aura expands and it reduces our enemy's toughness if they're within range of that aura. That is maintaining, and I like that we're still seeing it in 10th edition because again, like I said, it's super, super thematic. You would absolutely believe that this just god-awful, Nurgle-infested, rot smell disgustingness would be coming off of every single Death Guard unit with this ability, and it would just be making everybody retch and fall over and infecting them, and that's kind of what they're illustrating with this, and I love that it's been maintained. So that is really, really cool. We also have a relatively interesting detachment ability, considering we're only getting the one right now, and that is Spread the Sickness. This ability is allowing Death Guard players to end up holding objectives without actually having to keep units on those objectives as long as they've held it once, which is pretty interesting and maintains as long as the opponent doesn't take the objective back, which definitely makes things a lot more intriguing when it comes to if you have a split board, you're starting on one side, the Death Guard player starting on the other. That Death Guard player can end up still moving forward while maintaining control of their own objectives, which are maybe in their back lines, harder for their opponent to get to potentially, although I guess there's deep striking. But regardless, I feel like it's opening up some opportunities for the Death Guard to stay moving, which is great because they're back to being really, 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 really slow again because they've reduced their speed once more. Now, those two things are kind of what I'm interested in. I like Spread the Sickness. I like the fact that we're getting our aura ability still. I am not liking the fact that I'm looking through all of these data sheets that they've previewed for us, and you know what I'm not seeing? Disgustingly Resilient. Disgustingly Resilient seems to be gone, and I know that it may have been considered for some people an OP ability, but I personally really felt like it was a thematic ability, and it genuinely kept me in the game sometimes when otherwise I would have just completely lost a bunch of units. So the fact that it's gone does hurt me quite a bit. Like, maybe it'll be fine. Like, we are tougher just across the board, I believe, so that should help, but I am going to miss that disgustingly resilient roll. It was a lot of fun to just, like, nail that 6 or that 5 and just be like, yeah, we're done, we're safe. Now, the other thing that has me probably the most upset about the Death Guard's previews is in regards to the Malignant Plaguecaster. Because I am one of those people that really liked to run a psychic-heavy Death Guard army. I ran 4 Psychers in my typical army, including the majestic Malignant Plaguecaster, and he was one of my stars. He often ended up becoming my warlord, and I absolutely love the heck out of this model. And now I'm not feeling that so much, because one of the things that made him really great is the Death Guard are actually a very psychically potent army, and they had a lot of really cool psychic abilities. And because psychic abilities and the psychic phase no longer exists, and the abilities have dramatically changed because they happen seemingly predominantly during the shooting phase, but I think they're supposed to happen during the melee phase. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just pulling that out of somewhere where I feel like I'm remembering it. But I know it seems like it's predominantly happening during the shooting phase because that's when all of the Plaguecaster's abilities go off. And the Gift of Contagion psychic ability, I just don't know if it's going to be worth it. It basically puts a -1 to the wound roll on your enemy if they are in melee, which I don't know if 10th edition is actually shaping up to be a melee heavy game, because I feel like some units in melee are seeming dramatically overpowered, and I think everybody's going to want to be avoiding that and keep a distance because guns have also gotten so much better, and there just seems like there can be a lot of countering in melee, and maybe less so with gunplay. So I really don't know if this is going to be a melee focused game, and I just don't know if this psychic power then is going to be super relevant. And then the other one, Pestilence Fallout, is a reaction to him using his Plague Wind gun, aka psychic ability, which is fine. Like, I guess that'll probably end up going off because it triggers on you actually doing a wound using the Plague Wind ability, but I don't know, it doesn't feel the best. Like, there are some things that I'm really liking, but there's a lot of things for the Death Guard that I'm really not liking. And I'm also very concerned that, one, Death Guard aren't going to get a codex super early. Like, there are enough people who have played it and collected it because of the last couple of years that I'm hoping Games Workshop gives us a codex relatively early, but I'm not holding out hope. And then the final thing that this actually has me very scared for, especially in regards to the Plaguecaster and the psychic abilities and the psychic phase just being gone, and seeing some of these things and some other psychic things that other factions can end up doing, I am very nervous for both the Grey Knights and Thousand Sons. Like, those are such psychic-focused armies, and I know people have expressed this concern the minute that they found out the psychic phase was disappearing, but this is making it, like, just adding to that stress of what are those two armies going to look like? Are they going to be fun for people to play, or are they going to feel thematic at all? Because right now, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm hoping that we get a preview for either of those two factions soon from Games Workshop, just so that it can put our minds at ease to see what are we actually getting with them. Let me know what you're thinking about all of the various previews we've been getting for all of the factions going into 10th edition 40k, because I know there has been a lot of information. They've dropped a lot of different factions already and previewed a bunch of them. So are you liking what you're seeing? Are you disliking what you're seeing? Tell me in the comments below. Moving into the realm of board games, we have a brand new board game from Glass Cannon Unplugged for the Apex Legend game. And we've been getting a lot of first-person shooter remakes into board games recently. We had Sniper Elite, we're having Call of Duty, and now we have Apex Legends. So let's go ahead and watch the trailer for the Kickstarter and see what this game is going to be about, because all of those other ones that I mentioned have been kind of intriguing to me, and I'm curious about this one. Go ahead and go in full screen.
From a world shaken with conflict comes a ruthless blood sport where only the best stand a chance to survive. Do you have what it takes to become a legend?
Maybe.
Apex Legends, the board game, is a hero shooter for 2 to 4 players, which brings the thrills and kills of the smash hit video game to the tabletop. Designed to make fans
I like
of
that those
Apex
look like
feel right at
dioramas.
home, the modular system also provides a fascinating and intricate
Okay, that's
tabletop
actually pretty cool.
experience for anyone willing to give it a try.
Lots of different options
With
for how to
intense
arrange the
tactical
terrain,
team versus
which is
team
neat.
skirmishes, and a multitude of available play modes, including versus, solo mode, and co-op. Apex Legends, the board game, follows the philosophy of one rule set to rule them all. The
Interesting.
core box includes all the elements required to set up a visually stunning board, with modular buildings, walls, and objects representing well-known locations from the video game.
Neat.
With 4 transparent miniatures representing the ring, the fighting arena is gradually reduced in size, rounding up the legends.
Okay, I
for the
actually
final
like how they're doing
confrontation.
that. That's pretty fun.
It's all about the legends after all. Each one comes to the board game with a dedicated miniature and a personalized diorama.
Oh, it is a
designed
diorama.
to
That's so
properly
cool.
display what makes each of them special. The diorama itself serves a practical purpose, providing the players with a convenient means of storing their cards during play.
All right, I like that. I
The
like
trademark
that.
of any legend, their awe-inspiring powers. These appear in the game in the form of cards, with some tactical and ultimate abilities represented on the board through the use of miniatures. Hungry for loot? Choose an entry point on the board and start off with a bang, but be prepared to face the consequences of your decision. Amass firepower through the use of supply
Do my
bins
miniatures
spread
come with
across
life
the
like
map,
that?
and take advantage of a vast array of fully upgradable weapons to take down your enemy with deadly efficiency. Need more? The next supply drop might offer just what you need to face your next target and fight to the finish, Apex style, with
that's
all
cool.
the
I like that they
mechanics you
slot
know
out.
from the video game. Things not going to plan? Death is not the end. Choose a respawn beacon and get back into the action.
Okay, that's fun.
The
And very
Pantheon
video
of
game.
Legends is awaiting your arrival. Back the project campaign for Apex Legends, the board game now, and get ready to fight for the title of champion.
All right, that actually looked pretty darn cool. I want to get back
Girl.
to that like end screen where we're kind of looking at the full game. Because this actually looks pretty cool. So the people who are making this are also the makers of the Frostpunk board game, which does give me some optimism when it comes to Apex Legends, because from my understanding, the Frostpunk board game was actually delivered quite well, and the miniatures from it looked gorgeous from what I saw. And from what I'm seeing of the miniatures in this game, I am liking the look of these. So very pleased on just a hobbyist side. Also, can we talk about that diorama for a second? Because I actually think the diorama is super cool. Like, yeah, it's a little bit overdone for it just being a card holder when it comes to the actual how you use it in the game. But as a hobbyist and as somebody who just likes to collect and display objects on my shelves, just look around the room surrounding me, I enjoy this a lot because it does give you this tiny little diorama to then paint up and make your own and have your character represented in that. So I actually think that is a very clever and charming idea. In regards to the mechanics for this game, it seems pretty straightforward. I don't really feel like we're seeing too many new innovative things outside of how the border shrinks. I don't know if I've really seen that utilized in a board game before, as well as just, like I said, the diorama is kind of neat and a little bit unique in regards to how they're at least giving you components for this game. Overall, I am very intrigued with what we're getting or what we're seeing out of Apex Legends. Now, this is currently an ongoing Kickstarter. I believe as of today, you'll have about 15 days left to be able to put in on it if you want to back Apex Legends, the board game, and be able to play this game on the tabletop instead of just as a video game. I've left a link to the Kickstarter in the video description below, so if you're interested, make sure to check it out. The last couple of things that I want to talk about are simply plugs for the channel. So Warhammer Skulls, the event, is happening very soon, starting on May 25th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm going to be doing a live reaction to the entire event. That will begin at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so if you want to hang out with me, live react to all of the trailers and everything that we're going to be getting at Warhammer Skulls, make sure to join me here on the channel for the live stream. Again, that is going to be at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on May the 25th. Last but not least, I am going to also be playing Boltgun later today. If you want to check out the brand new Warhammer 40k Boltgun, which is a boomer shooter that just released, I'm going to be playing it starting at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today. Make sure you're back hanging out on the channel with me as we play through this absolutely gorgeous looking game. I've never played a boomer shooter before. I'm very excited for this. I don't know how far we're going to get in this first playthrough of it as we go today, but I hope that you join me, and we'll see you later. All right, that has been it for this week in hobby news. We got to talk about some cool JOYTOY action figures, some new miniatures coming out from Games Workshop, the mildly disappointing Death Guard preview, and of course the Apex Legend board game. Let me know what you thought of any of those down in the comments below, and before I head out, I do want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for making it so content like this can continue to happen. Without your guys' support, we would not be doing this, so thank you very much, and I will see you guys all in a couple of hours for my Boltgun playthrough. See you later, everybody. Bye.